Morning, church. Happy Friday. As we wrap up chapter 3 today, I'm going to jump right in. We're starting in verse 23, and it says, "And this is his command." Yesterday we talked about receiving from him everything we ask because we keep his commands. And then verse 23, "And this is his command, to believe in the name of his Son, Jesus Christ, and to love one another as he has commanded us. The one who keeps God's commands lives in him, and he in them." So again, there's that abiding, that unity in God, unity in Christ, and this is how we know that he lives in us. We know it by the Spirit he gave us. Now I'm going to back up and focus on the first thing he says, and this is the command to believe in his Son, Jesus Christ. And I'm going to jump ahead to Revelation because that's what Bob's been preaching at, and I want to show you a theme that runs through the letters to the church, okay? In every letter it ends, and you can go back and look at it, not every letter, but almost every letter, he says that he who has ears to hear, let him hear. To the one who is victorious, I will give the right to eat from the tree of life. That is what he says going into the letters at the end of the Ephesus church. And then at the end of the letter to Smyrna, he says, the one who is victorious will not be hurt at all by the second death. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. To the church of Pergamum, he says, I will also give that person a white stone with a new name written on it, known only to the one who receives it. To the one who is victorious, he begins that. So again, to the one who is victorious, the one who is victorious, the one who is victorious. And back to 1 John chapter 3, really quick. I know this is back and forth a lot. Sorry, glad it's a digital Bible, so I'm not flipping pages. But he says, to the command to believe in the name, in his Son, Jesus Christ, and to love one another as he's commanded us. And this is how we will know he lives in us. We know it by the Spirit he gave us. God gives us a spirit of victory, guys. And as we live and we continue to live for Christ, we are going to be victorious. Do you hear that? So even though we might stumble and we might fall, because John says it over and over, he's talking to a group of people who are failing in their faith. He's not talking to people who are doing it right. Okay, if they were doing it right, he wouldn't be sending this letter to them. You always have to remember these letters are written to churches that are struggling. And they were struggling with people coming in and teaching false doctrines. They were trying to pull people away from who Jesus was. And so what we have to believe to the end is that we believe in the name of his Son, Jesus Christ. You see, there's a lot of gospels out there. There's a lot of people professing good news out there in the world. And here's a couple things I can promise you. You're not going to find hope and you're not going to find joy in whoever wins president in November 3rd. You're not going to find hope and joy there. I don't care who wins, okay? You're not going to find hope and you're not going to find joy in some social justice march that you're going to be involved in. And God bless people who feel passionate about things. But at the end of the day, those things are temporary. They're not eternal. The only thing that is eternal is Jesus Christ. And our faith in Jesus Christ is the gospel, guys. That's what we need to be proclaiming. If you're going to post something on Facebook or on Twitter or something like that where you want to draw people to God, then draw them to his Son, Jesus Christ, not to something else that you're going to try to end around and then try to bring Jesus up in the conversation. Start with Jesus, end with Jesus, because he is the Alpha and the Omega at the beginning and the end, as we're being taught in Revelation. And if we're going to follow Jesus, we have to follow him to the end, because our faith is based on what he has done and what he has accomplished. And that, my friends, is the gospel. Can't wait to hear Matt next week. I'm sure it's going to be excellent.